Well, hello everyone. This is Adele Bernard from Transition Clarity, and we are here to have another authentic conversation. Today, our guest is Maria Davis. She is a best selling author, marathoner, and transformational spiritual growth coach, specializing in guiding heart centered women to grow and expand with a passion for uplifting, gifted, and socially minded individuals. Maria empowers her clients to lead the way in transforming and healing the world, drawing on the physical discipline she learns from running marathons. Maria combines these insights with profound spiritual teachings to foster holistic growth and well being. Through her books and her coaching, Maria inspires and supports women in realizing their full potential and making a significant impact on the global community. She's also it, this year she's catalyzing her love for personal development, spirituality, and mysticism to take a group of women to Egypt, the magic land, to transform, elevate, and expand the brand and the business. So, with that, I'm excited to introduce this audience to Maria. And here we go, Maria Davis in the house. I'm so excited. And who knows where this conversation's going to go. Because, the pre-show, we've gone everywhere and everything. So welcome, Maria.
Thank you, Adele. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So let's just start off with the basics. A little bit of background on who you are, how did you end up doing what you're doing, and yeah, how did your company start?
I started when my youngest went to school, I decided to go to school. So he was 6 and I was nearly 40. I was turning 40 that year and I went to school and I was really interested in the human body. And that's where my fascination came through. So, embodiment. So, I started off as a gym instructor, a personal trainer. Then I wanted to know how the body thought. So, I went down Pilates and then I wanted to know how we could help to clear the energy, and I did massage therapy, and then I became a teacher of pathologies, anatomy and physiology, and then I thought, oh, why aren't people getting what I'm getting? And then I went, is there something wrong with me or is it something else? And I was very porous energetically. I'm very sensitive. I would take on everyone's energy
Yep. Or
and
gunk.
didn't have a framework for it. And then I would start to see people's bodies, what was turning on, what wasn't turning on, like muscles and function and form and organs, what was happening in that organ. And I would just see them, but I didn't have a framework, I didn't have a filter. And then I discovered I was a medical intuitive, so I fell into that. And then from there, I wanted to help people with their energy system, not only their disease, but how do we really become buoyant and vibrant, and studied vibrations and all of the law of attraction, the synchronicities, the esoteric world, the metaphysical world. And then I sort of came home. I'm like, this feels really safe and supported and held, and hence spiritual growth coach. Now I help healers buoy their gift so they can present with a framework and a filter that works for them, rather than have this fragmented central nervous system that doesn't belong anywhere and blah, blah, and having all this energy that you can't channel. But when we're sitting in what we're born to do, as I've found for myself and the hundreds, if not thousands, of people that I've helped over the years, that when they're in their right purposeful space, we can do anything. The world really is magic, and the universe co-conspires to support you
Yeah.
once you're in that, you're in your space, you belong, you're embraced, you feel supported, you feel held, you feel loved.
Yeah.
Value and worth comes with it too.
Well, and what you say is so important because it's kind of the philosophy I have. It's, you know, we have so much knowledge, we have so much learning, and it's all in our heads, right? And it's about bringing it home. It's about coming into our hearts and saying, "Oh, this makes sense. This is me. This is my truth." And I think that's more important now than ever is as we go through these interesting times, where is your truth? Where is your light shining from? And it's fascinating how much um, schooling and learning, and now we understand where the marathon runner comes from, and right. So, but it's also it gives insight to: are you that stay-at-home mom right now that's going, okay, my kids are gone. Like, what am I doing with my life? There's more to give, and you've just proven like ignite yourself into that passion.
Yeah, and it's exploring and who comes into your realm of reality. What can you dream of? I have this philosophy: if you can dream it, you can believe it, you can achieve it. Like it's like a rah rah cheerleader, but it's really intrinsic. It's I can do that externally, but if I can't dream it, if I can't see it, it's not going to happen. If I then see it and I don't believe it in my heart and my solar plexus and my feet taking the action, I can't. It won't happen. And then it's achieving it. It's
Yeah.
taking that inspired action time and time again, and watching for the signs that become in alignment. What doors open once you say things out aloud. Watch the doors open. It's like there's a pathway, or there's a new person that I'm
Yeah.
meeting, like the matrix comes together to light it up so you can see your path.
Well, and that's so true because I think about even how we met, right? I was just like, okay, I'm done with this group networking. Show me a new one. I want to go find new people, new experiences. I have a one-to-one, and next thing you know, I'm in Australia, and I'm like, cool. And I met all you guys, and it was just like, oh, this makes sense, right? Like the philosophies are more congruent. Um the helping, just I don't know, kinder, softer. Like we're all in business, but we're doing it in a gentler way of
Yeah,
nurturing and kindness and helping and supporting rather than get
absolutely.
that sale.
Oh, that's cringe city, right?
I know.
It's about it's about providing the right information so the people find you. For me, I have this philosophy that we're all looking for someone to support us along the way. But if they don't show up, if I don't show up, if you don't show up, Adele, they're not going to be able to find you. So we're not chasing anyone. We're just showing up, providing a service. And then if I can help you, please come along, have a
Yeah.
discussion. What you said something before about deeper truth, and I really feel that once we know our deeper truth, and there's so many stories attached, overlaid to the core of your deeper truth, so we have to fossick to get there, and that's the work we do, right? it's
Well,
it's about how do we explore. But once we have that deeper truth, our scaffolding, our platform is so grounded and solid that we can derive and develop that strength and courage and support, feeling supported to take those next steps,
Mhm.
to go into the void. You know, it's like, oh yeah, I'll do a marathon. Oh my God, what's a marathon? You know, it's there's so many unknowns in business that we say yes to. But once we know, like I talk about values, I talk about those intrinsic things that are important to us, energy, how do I want to feel, how do I want to feel? And once we know some of the parameters, some of the filters, some of the framework of having that solid, purposeful foundation
Mhm.
and I think scaffolding as well, where it's sort of surrounded. It's like and supported, you know, then we can weave in different elements and
Mhm.
feel confident with it.
Well, and I think like that's a good point about feeling confident in your own skin, right? So this is where I'm always like, okay, so whose belief is that? Is that yours? Because, the word lie is in belief, right? It might not be yours, and that's okay. Or the conditioning, just because somebody's told you you're XYZ, is that true? And I think um as we move forward, we really got to look at what are our core beliefs, what is our internal knowing, because that will shape how we go down the path.
It's Adele, great point because I'm one of my biggest bugbears is liar, liar, pants on fire. Because as an empath,
Yeah.
you read energy. As a sensitive, I read energy, and if someone's lying or, you know, or stretching the truth,
Yeah.
uh, then it's like liar, liar, pants on fire. I can't be in your room. So if you're like that, if anyone's listening, please take note because I used to discount that, and I I invested a lot of money um, on people that was helping me,
Yeah.
but I didn't listen to the nudges. So please listen to your nudges because the people that will support you will come along. And that's what I've learned. And the more experience you have with that, even if it just cost you a lot of money or a big investment along the way, nothing is ever wasted, right? But
Oh,
learn
but
from me.
but that's
Don't
the education, right? So
exactly.
whether you
Yeah,
go to university, whether you take a course, whether you whatever, it's
but
investing in you to find who you are, to say, I don't know if I believe that professor. What do I
yeah,
believe? Like take the
and I
best of what's in front of you.
sorry, Adele,
Yeah.
but my point, like, yeah, totally, but my point is, I didn't have anyone in my life to say that authority figure doesn't know everything. That authority figure, um, if you've got a nudge that you don't quite have all the information, follow that through. Because when I was growing up, I don't know about you, Adele, you know, with the authority figures, they had all the power. But let's bring the power back to the individual, so the I. And that's why I'm saying it now. Just follow your nudges. Just
Well,
um, believe in that deeper truth, like you said before, Adele. It's that where's my deeper truth? How does it feel to be in integrity and aligned? And does that feel right for me?
and I think that's where we've gotten the craziest because we discount kids. They have an inner knowing that we'll never understand. And so if they come up and say, that person's bad, believe them. Believe them. Right? Because I'm just gonna segue for a minute because I was out with my nephew one day. He was like 3, 4, right? And he was not that kind of rough and tumble kid. He was a highly sensitive, you know, kind of got to watch, whatever, right? And he walks straight up to the Harley guys, right? And they're Harley Davidsons, like, full leathers, whatever. And he just starts talking to them. And I'm like, come, honey, it's okay. Come. And he goes, Auntie, they're nice. I want to talk to them. I go, okay, we'll talk to them. Right? It was my judgment. And I was like, wow.
So
So
that's
he could feel these guys are just nice guys. They might look a little rough. They might drive really loud vehicles, but they're human. They're nice. Like, right? And so, yeah, so it's like somewhere along the way from these innocent children who knew their knowing, we're programmed out of it. And we spend our adult life trying to get back to that person.
so it sort of brings me to that, like our inner child. So our inner child knows, right? It's like, and we have this thing called the shiny object syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
where everyone else is like, so it must be good. And then we had the death of the guru. No one is a guru anymore. But I'm not sure. So you want to check in with that. Totally in my world. But you do want to check in with you, whether you're externalizing your power or internalizing your power. And the other thing that I thought of, so the inner child, lots of work on the inner child, keeping her safe,
Yep.
him, her. For me, it's her, keeping her safe and listening to what she's triggered by, and healing that. The other thing that came up is judgment, and the opposite of judgment I've found over years is compassion.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
yeah. So how do I, okay, and notice your judgment, notice the judgment, and then how do I become more compassionate? And mostly the judgment is three fingers back at you, right? It's like, yeah. So it's like, how do I have compassion for myself? The more compassion I have for myself, the more I practice that, the more compassion I can have for everyone around me too.
Absolutely. And you, that's a great point of um the compassion, the kindness and the love is we got to get back to that.
Yeah, and it's not bypassing. I don't want to do spiritual
No,
bypassing.
no,
I'm
no.
like, it's about recognizing and receiving, identifying the judgment as it's happening, and then how do you flip it? How do you heal it? How do you overcome that judgment? Because judgment is about me when I'm judging. And I've been there.
I
And
think we
compassion,
all have, and that's
yeah,
okay. We're all doing our best on this earth school. That's why it's called a school,
walking,
right?
walking ourselves home, right? We're
Yeah.
walking ourselves home.
Well, and that brings up an interesting point of walking ourselves home. Have we ever been home? Right? Like we do our inner child work, our inner child's feeling safe for the moment. Okay, so now we're like moving forward. Can we, can any of us really say that we're fully 100% home?
I've really been exploring that, Adele, and I think home happens in the smallest moments,
Mm-hmm.
in the micro moments. And home is an incremental place. So the more we notice the micro moments, the more home builds. So
Mm-hmm.
home means when I'm safe, when I'm secure, when I can make decisions with clarity, when I have confidence of my next steps, when I'm empowered to say no as opposed to saying yes to everything. All of the things that we learn in our personal development and spiritual development place, it's about how do I come home, and home is 0 point. And home, like I taught the Peace Project once, and it was really interesting because I went into how peace feels for us all. And peace is a flat line, and peace is death. So the flat line is equivalent to death. So when we're at peace, have a feeling to it. You feel nothing.
Mm-hmm. But yet you feel everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why we're fearful of that feeling coming in all the time because we don't feel alive. We feel alive when we're, that heartbeat is
Well,
going down. So that's life, and that's the human condition. So every time like for me, curiosity and being the observer is something that I practice regularly for myself, as well as everyone else. I love people watching, but it's when we're in the human condition where we're recycling, we're reversing, we're re-energizing, and it's all happens in the micro moments. And the micro moments is the place of home, transformation, and that solid connection. And when you recognize that, there sort of becomes incremental, that you can't shift it.
well, and I remember hearing a shaman saying, well, we keep on talking about this grounding thing. We keep on talking about this time, and he says, but we're so busy doing with our phones, with our this, with our that. He goes, you want to be present? You want to know what it's like to be in nature? Go and hug a tree with your bare feet. Don't take your phone. Just go and sit hugging the tree like a bear. No cell phone, bare feet. Be in the earth. And when I heard that, I was like, because we are like, okay, we're running marathons, we're walking, we're whatever. But we're not doing that in nature very often. And if we are, we either have hiking boots on or we, right? We're not we're not connecting to what keeps us grounded. And so then we wonder, how do we get to that, as you say, the dead zone, the flood zone? We turn off everything. Even if it's a tree in your backyard, go sit with it. Be in the earth without all the crazy noise. And I think,
Totally.
yeah, and I
Mother
think,
Earth gives it many gifts.
yeah. And I think it's very interesting, on this entrepreneur journey, it has its blessings and it has its curses, hopefully more blessings. Um, Yet when you're in that room of networking, it's amazing how Zoom just puts you in the right room, right? And you think, well, Zoom doesn't do it or the organizer doesn't do it. And it's like, they do. Somehow they're guided to follow their intuition. Like, and I'll give you the example, the call before this, I'm networking. I'm in a room. Next thing you know, I'm yanked out of the room. And I'm like, okay, now what are they doing? But I needed to be in the other room. There was a person that needed space held. So I held that space. We don't know how we're being asked to show up, right? It's like we just need to show up. And that's where I'm coming back to that kindness, that compassion, that just pure love. Because whether it's like watching someone walk across the street, that they get there safely, just go, thank you, right? Whether it's you like holding your baby and saying, it's okay, mommy's got you. And that could be your inner child or your real child. Slowing down enough to breathe, to get in that stillness.
That's really beautiful, Adele. As you were sharing that showing up and in being in the right place at the right time, that is trusting the universe, and trust is one of the human conditions that we've been beaten out of us. So when you trust the universe to co-create with you, then things magically align. So I call it magic, synchronicity. But also the deeper work is knowing the stories that we live by, the stories that have been imposed on us, the levels, the layers of stories that I talk about familial, cultural and societal. So there's so many stories. But once you know that core, going back to our earlier discussion, is once you know that core pivotal part of you, that I call it a soul. It's a aligned
Yeah.
soul thing.
Yeah.
You just show up, be of service. We're all generous. Well, we have these stories that say, please don't, you can't be generous because, they might take, or there's so many stories we've been fed over the years and we've seen evidence of, but now it's time to create a new narrative.
Well, and I think that that paradigm shift is happening. Like we're in that right now of um because they always said the giver will always find the taker, right? And now it's like if if I give of my time or my gifts or whatever, I am freely giving it with no expectations, right? Which is a different than that taker's waiting for it, right? And I even had somebody text me saying, I can't believe you give 30 minutes away for free. And I'm like, well, how else am I going to get to know you? Right? She never did call. And that's okay. If you want to follow my posts and never call, that's your choice. But I'm saying I'm honoring the time to get to know you and meet you and have a relationship with you to see where we can go with. If you choose not to try, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I
totally.
have no feelings either way. Like it's like I'm offering this. I'm prepared to offer this. And if you don't want to take it up, that's okay. Just
Totally, yeah, I'm on the same page. We just show up. Like going back to the soul family, they they need to find us. So you hold that space so they can get to know us. We get to know them, and then we decide together whether we're a right match or not. But it's for me. I wasn't very good at discovery calls or sales calls or anything like that. For me, it was always I couldn't follow a formula to save myself. But an imposed formula was someone else's formula. Now I follow my own aligned. We just have a chat, and I get to know you, you get to know me, and if it's appropriate, we get to share our services, and that's we're all human. We're just trying to progress and be of service, and we have. I know you're the same, Adele, this soul's mission.
yeah.
I talk about soul's mission. We're here to serve. Over so many lifetimes, we've learned, let's face it, we've learned all the skills we've got now. No, I say, no one says at 4, I want to be a healer, puts their hand up to be a healer, right?
I kind of
It's
was.
not a vocation that is a qualification at school. But having experienced life and a certain trajectory creates the healer in you, and that's why we're showing up as coaches so that healers can have a supported entrance and accelerated expedition journey into entrepreneurship, because we want you to make money as well.
Well, and I just want to go back to no one says at 3 years old or 4 years old that you want to be a healer, and I'm gonna kind of challenge you on that because I knew, I just didn't know what it was, right? And when and so even in my own self discovery, like I had such high regard for teachers that I up until 2 weeks ago I wouldn't accept that name. I'd say coach,
Oh,
I'd say mentor, I'd say, and I'm like, and then my guides finally said, you are the teacher of the new world.
oh,
And I was like,
I'm
oh my God, okay, I'll finally, right? Like, how many years have they been saying I'm the teacher? And I'm like, nope, 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 I'm not, nope, right?
totally with you. I knew I was sensitive. I knew I was a little different. I knew I was out of the box. they would laugh at me because I would cry at any emotion. I would morph into any emotion. Yeah, but I didn't have a framework. I didn't have a filter. And also, my respect for teachers is like yours too, Adele. I went to a 10-day silent retreat to work out that I am a teacher. And they kept, during the silent retreat, they would, my guides would go, "You are the teacher, own the teacher status, own that title, own." And when I walked out of there, I walked out with my head held high and I said, "I am the teacher. I am a teacher."
Yeah.
And then my job is to show up so people can find me. People that need my teachings can find me.
Well, and it's even interesting as I have accepted this word. And words are very powerful, right? So
Sure.
um yeah, so we're just like we keep on going. And then we're on this networking earlier and someone says, "Oh, well, she'll teach you that later. You'll have to book a call with her." I'm like, I'm no. Like I'm definitely not the tech teacher. Right? But it's
Yeah.
just I mean, like I find the things that we come to that's harder and harder, once we accept it, it's oh my gosh, why did we have the dam so high? Right? Like, like finally, a pinhole goes and a rock goes and like the dam comes down and you're like, why did you make it so hard? Because that's what we do as humans. Like we forget that we're guided, we gotta trust and we have to have the faith and we're never alone, right?
Yeah, and I think the teacher arrives when the student is ready, right? And that applies to being a teacher as well. We're never not like for me. It's never. I'm not. I'm always a student. I'm always learning,
Yeah.
but I also acknowledge and appreciate the wisdoms that have been collected, and really honor my lifetimes before this one, and then move forward to this one, all the times that I've spent learning. And now that I can share that with others, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to do that.
Well, and that brings up a good point of like the book Autobiography of a Yogi, right? Where he was the student for so long and then like it kind of came out of nowhere, like he shifted into the teacher. And I think it's like what we've been talking about. It's like that that line is so fine that you're kind of like straddling it going teacher student, oh student, no teacher, like, and it can be all encompassing. You can be the teacher and the student at the same time too.
And it comes we before we got on, we talked about knowing everything and knowing nothing.
I know. When you know
It's
you
the
know
same.
everything, you're nothing, starting over.
Yeah, exactly. The more you, like I'm saying to myself, the more I know, the less I know. The
Yeah.
more I know, the less I know, because the world gets bigger. The more you know, the world gets bigger, and there's always something else to explore. And so that's teacher student, teacher student. But I think the teacher has a reverent place in the world. A teacher has to honor their skill set and not keep all their wisdom to themselves, actually share the filters and the frameworks and the journey
Yeah.
so that people can accelerate their own journey.
Yeah.
That's what's been shown to me, and that's why I show up as a teacher.
Well, and it's also, this is how I think of it too, right? Is you got to clear off your bookshelf
Yes.
every once in a while so new books can come in. New books
Yes.
and new knowledge and new understandings can't come in, whether it's in your brain, in your life, in your bookshelf, in your courses. It can't come in if you have it so full. There's no
True.
room for new information to come in. And
So
so
true.
I mean, like, yeah, like that's just like your computer. Like you gotta clean it up every once in a while and squish all the files, right? Um,
Yeah.
and And as we go through into moving into this new world, and we're letting go of for lack of a better word, the masculine, right? Like we are coming into a feminine. This is not men and women. This is the feminine. We are both equally feminine and masculine. Um, how do we embrace this next 20 years to embrace this femininity to because I've had people in networking saying, "Do you work with men?" And I said, "Of course." And they go, "Oh, finally." I'm like, "What's that mean?" They said, all the women coaches won't touch the men." I go, "Well, that's their program. That's okay. That's okay. Like, don't dog on them for finding their passion, but yeah, like I'm inclusive, right?" And so, I'm sorry, I don't know where I'm going with that. Did you follow it? Because I went down a rabbit hole and I got lost.
You did go, yeah, you did go the rabbit hole. Yes, I certainly do. I follow, and I think more men are coming forward to really work on their soft skills. So soft skills are the new strong is one of my hashtags that I use, and I think all need to work on our soft skills, and that's inclusiveness, that's being present, it's listening, caring,
Yeah,
kindness, compassion,
yeah,
all of the soft skills that make a good leader,
yeah.
human, a human leader. And also one of the things you said before reminded me of the light and shadow of walking yourself home and knowing that the light and shadow are equally important. So we need to know both elements of ourselves in
Mhm.
order to move forward. And yeah, and that's masculine and feminine. They both have distorted elements to
Yeah,
them. And it's really good to know. Some of the teachings that I do is actually naming the distorted elements so that you can really identify when you're feeling misaligned, whether it's masculine or feminine energy. We're going down the rabbit hole now, but
yeah.
it's a really nice framework to have. Oh, that's that. How do I feel more aligned? How do I feel more energized?
Yeah. Well, and I can say the same for when I'm working with houses. Like there are parts of the house, and I'm not just saying the garage is masculine and the kitchen is feminine, because that's not true, right? That that have that out of balance, right? Like and you're going, okay, so what's needing here? What are we trying to create here, right? And it is that awareness of we need both.
Yeah, and it's really being aware of the energy. And it reminds me, Adele, I was invited to be part of a global clearing of distorted energy geographically, and which was like, what do you mean? Who, what? And so I had to identify where the distorted energy was in my local area. So I found the pocket where the distorted energy of the feminine energy was, which
Hmm.
was in a lake. It was in an island in a lake here, and also where the distorted energy in the masculine, which was between vertical buildings. We walked down this alleyway. It was one of the major thoroughfares in the city. And we sat there and we did this beautiful healing work. And the next time I go past the distorted feminine regularly, so I do a bit of work every time I go past. But if we all knew what it felt like, we could all contribute to this clearing. And this was part of a clearing matrix network that I was part of. It was such beautiful work. I was really proud to be part of it, and we made a difference.
Well, and I think we're all making a difference in our own way every day. Like you might be in Australia and I might be in Canada, but every day when we're helping people see their light or helping ourselves heal like a a concern that our inner child's saying, or it's all feeding into the collective of oneness, that we're whole, we're moving into the collective of unity, right? And we just got to trust and believe that everything happens for a reason, right? Like it's like that old proverb, right? Like oh, he gets a new horse or whatever. Oh, you're so lucky. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. And then his son gets hurt riding the horse, right? Breaks his leg. Oh, so bad that your son got hurt. Maybe, maybe not. Well, then the army comes to take his son. Oh, you're hurt. You can't come. Oh, you're so lucky. Maybe, maybe not, right? We don't know.
I love that.
We just know that something's happened in our life. It could be good. It might not be good. It's one more brick in the path.
Yeah, and I'm looking at opportunities and challenges. Is it an opportunity or is it a challenge? Or is the challenge an opportunity?
Exactly. And
Yeah,
that's where words are so important.
absolutely. Did you know I studied linguistics at uni? It was
Oh,
so interesting. And now I teach it, like the meta, and I think the meta behind the words are even more important, but consciously knowing the meta, the energy behind the words. So I teach intention setting, and what it means to really hold that intention and really be focused and aligned with your intention really can create so much magic in the world.
that's very cool. Yeah, linguistics. There it's and it makes it even more interesting when the world has gotten so small and the pronunciations of similar words but have really different meanings, right? And yeah, like
And colloquialism.
well, yeah, like it's not even it's not even the localism of, but it's just like of the pronunciation, right? Like I might be saying it with a T and you're hearing it with a P, and one means red and one means black, and you're like wondering why the communication's all messed up, right? And but you're both kind of speaking English, but not really.
Yeah.
Like you get that a lot in Mexico. They so want to learn English, but then it's like the people are just so tone deaf to what like it's a P, a T, an S, a C. Like, oh, these are totally different words, right?
So funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Just thinking of my Italian heritage and some of the language and the pronunciations along the way. But how cool is that to learn another language too? Yeah.
so are you still fluent in Italian or?
Yeah.
Yeah. She says
Yeah.
with a whisper.
I am. Yes.
That's very cool.
It
So
is.
did you raise your kids both?
No, they do not know Italian.
Oh, it's too
They,
bad.
yeah, we're English speaking in our home, and that's English is. But when I was born, it was Italian speaking first and English second in our home, and that's Italian was my first language.
So how come you didn't keep it going
Well,
with
Mark's English Australian, and I am Italian, and my parents have adopted Australian, the English speaking too, so it's all English
Oh,
speaking everywhere, but I can still converse in Italian.
wow. That's interesting. Because I always wanted to learn different languages. I keep on attempting it, but
Yeah,
mind you, I did do a tour with some Germans one time, and they said by the end of the tour I was talking with them. And I'm like, no, and they go, yeah. So somewhere
yeah,
along the way, I understood it.
you do pick up, but
Yeah.
it's funny when you've actually thought in a particular language. It's funny how and I'm by no means an expert, this is just my experience. It's funny how it just all comes back. So if I go to Italy, I start thinking in Italian again. Whereas
Oh, cool.
now I have to sort of Fossick and translate and then go. So it's really so fluent. Yeah, it's just there. It's there, but I don't use it often.
Well, and I found like because Canada has
French.
French, right? But I had 3 years of French with a Quebec speaking teacher. And then I had 3 years with a French speaking teacher, like from France. And he basically said, forget everything your first 3 years. I'm going to teach you the proper.
Yeah,
So
that's
much
basically.
so that one of our classmates who was from Quebec failed his class.
Yeah, and I get that because we are from the south and it's a dialect, and that's what I'm fluent in, and I can understand all Italian because but it's just pronunciation. Circle back, it's pronunciation, and some words are totally different, but it's mainly pronunciation that changes.
Yeah, yeah, that's so cool. Um,
So
oh,
cool.
there's so much. There's so much. I'm just like, um,
There's some of us, the parts of all of us, right? It's really interesting.
well, and we all are everybody,
Yes.
right? Like, especially if the listeners are believing in reincarnation and stuff, like we've all been white, we've all been black, we've all been Chinese, we've all been whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. We've all
Just
been everything,
being the human.
right? And
Yeah,
and if anything, it's coming back to our unison in the oneness, right?
totally.
And that's where that still point, right? Because when you talk about, some people have it for longer than fleeting moments, like maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But when we come back to that oneness, that we're nothing, but yet we're everything, right? You look at the ocean and you're like, the ocean is part of me as I am part of it, you know?
Totally.
And it's just like, I can't wait till the world gets to that again.
Yeah, let's pray. I'm praying for peace at the moment.
Well, I think it's here. It's just like, because okay, so we're talking about the scaffolding or whatever, the matrix. Who says what we're seeing is actually there? We don't know.
No. Illusions are delusions are illusions.
Yeah. Just spin the top and see where it goes.
And that's the same with our decision making for our businesses, right? It's like, what's next? How does it feel? Let's jump.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, because that's one thing I had to, as an entrepreneur, I had to start saying, I made a decision, but it doesn't
Yeah,
have to be for the next 100 years. I can make
exactly.
another decision. Like,
Evolution is here to stay, right?
yeah. Well, but we work in that illusion
Illusion,
space, right? So
evolution.
yeah, the evolution of the illusion. Well, if we're gonna do a play on words, like, let's really play, right?
So interesting. I guess it's for anyone listening, it's know that you're evolving. And yeah,
Absolutely.
I totally agree with Adele. Everything is an illusion, which can be confused as delusion. That comes back to evolution, and you just keep going with that next step. And honestly, and I don't like prefacing with honestly, my experience has been that when you know yourself, you know your deeper truth,
Mhm.
and you can make those decisions really easily.
Well, that's so true because when we're in our inner wisdom, it doesn't matter what's going on around us because our like my truth is my truth, and I'm not saying it's anyone else's truth. I'm saying as this opportunity or as this decision or as this whatever is coming towards me, I will tap into me to say yes or no.
Yeah, and I really think that what the inner work dials down the noise,
Yeah.
and it's dialed down that fragmented anxiety and stress for me. And I've seen it in many of my clients as well. So it just dials down the noise. So knowing yourself really well is the start point for the next evolutionary part of you, the next part of your journey.
Hmm. Very cool. Well, speaking of journeys, I'm going to tap into Maria is taking a group of ladies to Egypt. Do
Yes,
you
I am so excited.
want to dive into a little bit of that?
Yeah, it's Egypt is such a magical land. I was called to Egypt years and years ago and so frightened of going. And then I jumped and I said, yes, I'm going. And I've been back 3 times since. So within the space of 18 months, I think, I've been back 3 times. And in the space of under 2 years, I would have come back 4 times. Why? Oh my God. I just think they're so paradoxical and so the void, like no one knows who built the pyramids, even in our deeper knowing across the land. I know there's lots of speculation, there's lots of stories, but definitively, no one knows who built them. And I think that to us is like a lesson, a learning. It's like, do we need to know everything? No. I
Well,
just think,
mm, yeah.
go on.
No, I was
Yeah,
just going to say it wasn't from this earth that they were built.
no, it's and there's lots of stories, and I've been down the rabbit holes of them. I've sat with them. We had the most amazing time exploring inside and outside the pyramids, and just the enormity, the enigma, the discernment that's built by viewing them, the energy transference, the sound healing, the frequency, the vibration, everything you learn in that one moment is so layered. So to see the pyramids, you're in awe. It's like, what? Why? How? What? Your brain goes, "Ooh," and I want that to share that experience with other women who are really being of service in their world, so that they find their grounding and really being held to clear lifetimes. We were talking about clearing lifetimes of the should narratives of how they accumulated to who you are today. One of the questions I ask myself is, who am I? And every time I go to Egypt, I come out a different person. I come out a much stronger, courageous, powerful person. Not to say that I don't have my doubts, I just have this core inner knowing that's deeper, and it's sort of built on every time I've gone to Egypt. So I want that for other women too, because women are going to save the world. I know it.
Well, it's really interesting you talk about that because I'm very familiar with Egypt. I haven't been personally, but I am familiar with it, and as a whole, we are in the next 20, like we've started the next 20 years of the feminine rising. That's not women, that's the feminine. And so I think um, from what I understand of this trip and your calling is you literally are taking people there to let the baggage down of all the lifetimes where they're suppressed, where they couldn't be, they couldn't, right? So they can truly, truly shine in this world as themselves like nobody else can. And like I'm this is what I'm feeling. It could be right, it could be wrong, but if you're feeling called for this trip, you're going to be on a journey of self-discovery that's magical, but the world is waiting for you to step up. And so anyone listening to this that hears this call, go. Like be ready to transform, right?
Yeah.
And to also let go of the resistance of that you have now, like, well, should I, shouldn't I, like, I don't know, like, right? That's what you're going to leave behind. Because even in my own work, like I've been called to do a lot of energy work and clearing work of the beginning of time, whether you're man, woman, child, like of the shackles around the pyramids, right? And yet I know people that were in that were asked to come into the king's chamber that the public doesn't go in to at pivotal times of the last 20 years to do chanting and vowel sounds to raise the vibration of the world so we can be here now. And as I say this, I got chills because I'm just like, the people that are coming, they're ready. They're ready to step up in their lives like they've never done before. And they're ready to let the shackles go.
Yeah. It's just, it is a calling. And we are being called home
Yeah.
to release. You said it so beautifully. I don't want to add anything. It was so, yeah.
What?
And also, to be safe in that, like one of the things that I get, but is it safe? And yes, absolutely. I wouldn't have gone back so often if it wasn't.
Yeah. And and
Um,
people have to remember when these countries and these places are their entire life savings, their working career is based on people coming.
yeah, and
They have to have it safe.
exactly. And we, yeah, I felt safe every moment. When I landed, I felt like I'd landed home
Yeah.
and I'd never been there before. And
Yeah.
they were really, they're very special people. And coming with me, I've been there a number of times
Yeah.
to hold your hand, a spiritual growth teacher.
Yeah.
It's coming home. It really is coming home to your deeper truth.
Yeah.
I can guarantee there will be initiations that you won't see coming.
Yeah.
Clearing, yeah, Adele, you're so right about clearing those should narratives fell away, and I've seen them fall away from others who have been around me and have been to Egypt. And just come back to your own empowered self. Who do you want to be? Who are you? And how do you want to serve? How do you want to
Well,
be?
and that's a good point because we are all born um with the blueprint.
Yes,
And the blueprint is saying, step up. It's time.
step up.
Your light
Absolutely.
needs to shine to
We need,
this new world,
yes,
right?
yes.
So, um, yeah. Okay, we can talk forever. I don't know when we started because we talked forever. Um, but I think it's feeling like we should, wrap it up. So other than people signing up for your for your trip to Egypt, how would you want to? What are some final thoughts you have um, regarding this podcast? What the work you do? What are some final thoughts?
I want to say that transformation happens in the smallest moments. So pause and notice
Hmm.
and be curious. Oh, is this a transformation? Oh, is this a transformation? Oh, is this a transformation? Because once it's incremental, and when you start down this road of transformation, personal development, spiritual development, you'll turn back and you go, oh, I don't worry about that as much as I used to. Oh, my world is more peaceful. Oh, I can make decisions better. I don't have to ask everyone for their opinion. I know what's right for
Yeah,
me.
that's a
And that
big one.
and that is the power that you have within you. And if you would like a framework, a filtering, a support system, that's what we do as coaches, and I
Yeah.
offer that too. I have lots of resources on my Maria Heals website. I have a resource page, so go in there and have a look, and whatever you need, and reach out to me. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here to be of service.
Well, and everything will be in the show notes, so no one's missing out. We'll have all the links in the show notes. And um, yeah, I just want to thank you so much for being on the show. This has been a deep dive of like amazing gifts of just come home to yourself.
Yeah.
Forget the matrix, forget the whatever, just come home. With that,
Come.
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow, what a fascinating conversation, all about coming home to who you really are, that blueprint that you signed up for when you took a body. Um, Maria is a wealth of information. She is a channel, an intuitive, and also go on the trip with her. Limited space, 8 people, I believe. And yeah, you won't be disappointed. If you're being called to a trip like Egypt, you have bigger things in your life to do. And um, yeah, so like she said, reach out to her, reach out to me. We'd always be happy to have that conversation with you to see how we can assist you in moving forward. This is episode 34 of Authentic Conversations. I am your host, Adele Bernard, company Transition Clarity. And until next time, have a great evening, day, wherever you are.